Right now, screeners do not regularly look at social media for people traveling to this country on fiancé visas, but that soon could change. NBC News Justice correspondent Pete Williams has the details.
Well before she applied to come to the United States, officials say, Tashfeen Malik was expressing support for violent jihad on social media. But the U.S. agencies that reviewed her application for a fiancé visa did not know that. Now the Obama administration is reviewing whether social media for visa applicants should be checked, something many employers already do.
The social media has placed a whole new burden and a whole new set of questions, but not impossible ones to resolve.
Here's how the process works. A U.S. citizen applies for a K-1 visa to bring in a fiancé from overseas. The name of the foreign applicant is checked against U.S. terrorism databases. Then State Department officers overseas get the applicant's fingerprints and check criminal records. But surprisingly, even in Pakistan, where Tashfeen Malik is from, the process seldom includes a face-to-face interview.
We only interview people in the K-1 visa program in cases where there is some issue that needs to be explored.
Two U.S. officials say Tashfeen Malik's jihadist messages were missed, not only because they weren't checked, but also because they were sent privately to the Facebook page of her sister, not posted publicly.
Pete Williams with that report. The chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee says it will now consider a bill to require in-person interviews and social media screening for visa applicants.
So Mika,
could be very helpful.
You've talked about how ISIS is so good dealing with social media and recruiting by social media. Yeah. And here we have a federal government that has nearly a $5 trillion budget per year. And we can't do something basic like this to save lives?
Well, I think we can, and I think the frustration with Washington, with the government that a lot of people have, is that it's not forward-thinking.
Yeah.
I know it's easy for us to say, hey, why haven't you been doing this? But it is pretty basic at this point.
It is basic, Mike. If somebody's coming in from Pakistan or Saudi Arabia, we warn our children now, don't ever apply or don't ever put anything on social media that you're not going to want, a job, somebody your job application 10 years from now to see. And our government's not even looking at Facebook postings when people are supporting jihad?
Actually, for many reasons, when you say that, when you realize that, when you find out, it's beyond mystifying that they don't. I mean, given the intrusive nature of social media as we know it right now. For instance, yesterday we were talking about what Cambridge Analytica is doing with Ted Cruz's campaign in Iowa. Before you go to knock on a door, if you're a Cruz worker and you go knock on a door, you know pretty much a whole lot about the person you're going to encounter at the door, how to speak to them. The fact that we don't do that with people seeking to come into this country is... Now, I understand the cost in terms of personnel, extended time to get the visa. I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait a little longer.
I'm going to say, has anybody around this table, or Gene, anybody, been on the phone with a federal government bureaucracy lately? The incompetence is staggering. No, it is. The incompetence is staggering, and you know it is. It's straight. It's like 50 years old, and you wonder, how could our government be so bad? And if you don't believe me, ask a vet that's had to go on the phone line and get answers from the VA. It's, again, almost a $5 trillion budget. And we're incompetent up and down the line. Our government is stuck like in the 1960s.
Yeah, basically it is. I'd put it at about 1985. It has just stopped full circle, especially on the VA.
Use the word of bureaucracy. Is it the government or is it us as a nation that if you went into any bureaucracy and any private company, when you get on the phone about your phone service?
No, you go to Apple, boom.
No, Apple, you get caught up in any...
Listen,
if you call today...
I can tell you, I can answer that question because I have been on the phone line on some issues for hours and hours and hours. The incompetence and the poor service is unparalleled. Unparalleled.
Yes.
So if I call my cable company, you're saying it's better.
You would have that would be
pick the worst cable company in America. I promise you, it doesn't come close.
No.
And the government wonders why people are anti-government right now on some of these things. Again, they pay their taxes and they get just horrible, horrible service.
I was in Paris a week ago. I bought something, used my Visa card in Paris. Within a half an hour, I got a text from my bank saying, you know, please call. Your card has been used in Paris. Check it out if you.
Well, that's the thing. Taking care of the vets, having a system where you can take care of the vets is fine. You know, it's like we were talking to Ash Carter. Ash Carter said in the Pentagon, they're still using some computer, some software from the 1980s.
Or in some cases, these offices have stacks of manila folders and old aluminum cabinets. But this is life and death. I mean, especially in the case of the VA, people are dying and waiting, and there are things that could be done that can't be done because executives are not empowered to clear out the underbrush, as it were, and make the system more efficient. And now we're learning in this case, this is life and death for those people in San Bernardino. If somebody had just scrubbed and looked through Facebook and checked and seen that this woman was talking about jihad, was sympathizing with jihadists, they would have known, and she wouldn't have been here.
And I don't know whether it's still the case, but within the past few years, it was the situation that the FBI computers were not capable of speaking to the CIA computers. They weren't linked up in a manner that could have, you know, you could get instant transference of collected data.